Welcome back to Kelowna Now Live. My name is Jason Mann. Joining me is Brent Watson of Vision Plumbing and Heating. Welcome to Kelowna Now.
Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Great to have you here. Now, this is like kind of a go time of the year, isn't it? With
It is.
fall and winter just around the corner.
It is very busy coming up here.
Before we get into kind of some of the things that people need to know about this time of year when it comes to their heating and plumbing, maybe we just get a little backstory, the origin story of Vision Plumbing and Heating. I know you've been around since 1986, family owned. So would that be dad or granddad? Or?
That'd be dad who started the company. Yeah, yeah, that's for sure.
And so how has the business evolved over the years?
Yeah, my dad started the company in '86 down in Vancouver. We transitioned and moved up here in 1990 as a family. I've always been doing plumbing since I was a kid, and got my ticket when I was in my mid-20s. We were primarily a construction-based plumbing and heating company for years and years. And then as we evolved, my sister got involved, and we decided to transition into home service, which was about in the early 2000s, basically after the fires. When the fires happened in '03, we noticed that Kelowna started to really build. After that, never stopped. And we started transitioning more into the home service space, building a brand, building a name for ourselves. So that's where we are right now.
Yeah, and if you look at it now, the last 5 years has just been bonkers compared to that even. And so multiple Best of Kelowna gold and silver winners for plumbing and HVAC. I noticed you have a 4.9 rating on Google.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Many years in business. So as a family-owned business, how have you been able to kind of maintain those high standards across multiple generations and employees in a busy market like this?
Lots of meetings, lots of staff meetings with procedures, and always trying to put the client first, and just our roots on being a family business and what we stand for and what our values are, and how my dad, raised us and brought us up on how to treat people, and we try to pass that through our business. So we try to have that reflect through our employees and down through to our customers. So
well, congratulations! You must be doing something well. So
yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. Now, is it just me, or this time of year I find, well, it's either this time of year or in spring when we try and kick on the heat, something goes wrong that first time we fire up the air conditioner or something like. Yeah. Are these like those transitional periods the busiest times for you?
Yeah, it's mainly because a lot of people have their maintenances are booked in, which I encourage. Typically, right now we've been lucky because it's been quite mild, but when that hits, it usually hits really fast, the minus temperatures, and that's when everyone's calling in. So usually the November, mid-November to late November is when it gets really, really busy, and that's why we encourage people to try and stay away from everyone calling in at once. Do it before the temperatures get too low. Do your maintenances before the temperatures get too low, because then you're racing against everyone else, and you're lucky if you get booked in, and then you're paying more money. That's the problem, is you're fighting against, there's only so many companies in Kelowna, so you're fighting against all those other companies trying to get booked in if your furnace goes down. So it's always better to do that before the temperature is too cold. Test your furnace out, make sure your thermostat's working, make sure your air filter is clean. Just do those little basic fixes before. Try and get your maintenance booked in now in October is the best time, because then you're not fighting against the November rush, right?
Yeah. And so this time of year that you kind of have touched on them, I guess. Those are sort of the common things that you should be doing. But what are the common services that you provide this time of year? What would be the wrap, I guess?
Yeah. So basically be furnace maintenance, heat pump maintenance, making sure that that's all in working order, checking your thermostat, making sure it's communicating with your furnace. There's nothing broken there. Obviously, you hear about this a lot, is check your filter. It is the cheapest and easiest way to prolong the life of your furnace. So definitely have that checked. We replace those within our service, but that's the easiest thing a homeowner can do, is always check that filter. Every 3 to 4 months, have it replaced. You can do that yourself, and it's very cheap. $20 for a filter. But that is the number one cause of issues with your furnace, because of the airflow. If that's blocked, you're going to have issues with your furnace.
Yeah. And not that it was that smoky this summer, but the smoke and noggin, that has to play a factor with your.
Definitely, we're seeing more and more people moving towards indoor air quality, whether that be a certain filter that goes in, or a ionizer that can remove smoke from your system. We're seeing more and more people aware of that, because fires are much more common here. So this is a good way to clean your air throughout your home.
So you talked a little bit about some of the proactive things we can do with our heating systems. What about plumbing this time of year?
Yeah, so frozen pipes are becoming more and more of a thing, as these older homes don't have the proper insulation. So number one thing would be outdoor hose bibs. Make sure your hose is not connected as the freezing temperatures come. So you want to disconnect that hose bib. See if you have frost-free hose bibs, which means frost-free means they can operate year-round because the stem penetrates into the house where the warm space is. So make sure you have frost-free hose bibs. If you don't, make sure you have something that shuts off on the inside and have that drained on the outside, because that's the first thing that's going to split when the temperatures get low.
Yeah, and you sort of said something there that's interesting. I mean, when I first moved here in 1996, when your company was just 10 years old.
Just an infant stage,
just a baby. Like the big thing was, will it get to -8 so that we can have ice wine? And now we're seeing
-20, -25, even sometimes for a week or so, even colder.
Yeah,
like
and
2 years ago, had that snap was like -28.
And I hadn't really considered, like, the homes maybe weren't built for that.
No, they definitely weren't. They definitely weren't. You see the homes around anywhere from 70 to 90 just don't have the insulation values that they have now. Kelowna has a pretty high standard for insulation on new builds, anything, prior to or post 2000. So we don't see many issues with homes freezing and post 2000 homes. It's usually 1990, 1980 and prior where you're going to have those freezing issues. So it's definitely something to look for. Any exposed piping down your crawl space, you should definitely want to look at insulating those.
Yeah. So what do you expect will be the top calls then this time of year in terms of the rush season? And how do you manage that flow?
Yeah, definitely no heat calls and frozen pipe calls. Frozen pipe calls are only usually for that one cold snap or two cold snaps we get. So they're not all winter. But no heat, definitely all winter. And those start sometimes as early as early November. So they're coming in a couple weeks. Like I said, definitely pre-book now if you're looking to, whether it's with us or another local company, to get your furnace maintenance now before you're getting into that rush. Because like I said, what you don't want to have to do is get into booking into overtime calls because you can't get someone during regular hours, because then you're looking at double the cost for a simple maintenance that's usually only a couple $100.
I was going to say, so do you recommend annual maintenance?
Absolutely. Not in all cases, but in most cases for furnace, definitely. Being that it's like in most cases, they're a gas appliance. So when you have gas, there's safety issues. So you definitely want to make sure that there's no, one, safety issues involved with your home and your furnace, and then two, that it's going to be working when you need it most. Because here's the thing, there's one thing not having heat, but if you don't have heat in your home, you're now up against freezing issues. So one, you have no heat, that's uncomfortable. Two, you're having burst pipes because you don't have heat protecting those water lines. So it can be a bad issue. So it's definitely something you want to look at before the rush, like I said.
Okay. So I'm going to go home and I'm going to turn on my heat here today.
I bet you are.
What about energy efficiency? We're hearing a lot about, obviously the need to conserve and solar energy and energy efficiency. How does Vision Plumbing help customers access, some of the incentives and rebates, and what can you do to help create more efficiency in the home?
Yeah, well, first I'd encourage people to go to our website. We have a lot of knowledge on our website alone that helps you, get you to the point of making a decision if you want to go to a heat pump or a high efficient furnace. And number two, give us a call or give us an email. Definitely can walk you through step by step. And if it's something you're actually looking to take action on and replace your furnace or move to a heat pump, we have comfort advisors that would come to your home, walk you through step by step from the on what system best suits your needs, because it's not a one size fits all, and then walking you through how to get those rebates through Fortis and through Greener Homes BC and stuff like that, because there's a lot of different areas to get the rebates. You want to make sure you get all of them.
Yeah, right? Like the biggest one being heat pump and furnace rebates, right?
Yeah, there's a $10,000 rebate right now for a dual fuel system. Your furnace has to be 10 years or older to qualify for that. If it is 10 years or older, in most cases, you will qualify for the $10,000 rebate. Wow. If that's something you're looking at, I definitely would encourage people to act as soon as possible, being that rebates don't last forever. They did go away for a while and they did come back. We can't say that they're going to be around forever. There's a certain amount of money that the government's put aside or Fortis has put aside, and once that's used up, the rebates are gone. Right. So when the government ever puts out a $10,000 rebate, I definitely encourage people to take advantage of that, because that pays usually for at least half your system, right?
Yeah. And even the smaller rebates, like Fortis offering some rebates on gas service.
They're offering a $50 rebate on your furnace getting serviced through Fortis. So that's on their website. So you can look at that. Just go to Fortis BC and then type in or look for the drop down for rebates, and they'll show you how to walk through that for your $50 rebate on a furnace service. And I think it's a $25 on a tankless hot water heater or a fireplace service. So that would, cover a good portion of that as well. So definitely if Fortis is giving out rebates, definitely take advantage of those. for sure.
Okay. And your website where people can learn more about Vision Plumbing and Heating and everything that you have going on?
Yeah, visionplumbingandheating.com is our website, www.visionplumbingandheating.com.
Okay. There's one more thing. We were just talking before we went on the air, and I was surprised to learn about this. You have kind of like an annual membership program, if you will.
Yeah, it's the Vision Elite membership, and it's great value. So what that gets you for $299 or I believe it's $24.97 a month. It gives you 2 annual services, so one on your AC in the spring and one on your furnace in the fall. So right now, it also gives you priority service. So when things get busy, you get pushed to the head of the line. You get 15% discount on parts. You get 5% discount on big ticket items like a new furnace install or a tankless hot water heater install, as well as you never pay an overtime fee and you never pay an after hours call out fee. So it's a really good value and definitely helps, especially when things get busy, the fact that you get priority service. So if you call in, we definitely triage you to the front of the line for sure.
That sounds like price of admission right there.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. And, I think technology is making so many things possible in your space right now. There must be a lot of change and evolution and new technologies coming on the scene. There's things that I've never even heard of, like hydronic heating. Maybe not for today, but maybe in a future episode we could have you come in and talk to us and share a little bit of information about some of the energy efficient and unique ways that people could be empowering their homes.
Absolutely. Love to do that.
Okay, awesome. In the meantime, again, website is
www.visionplumbingandheating.com. That's all one word, visionplumbingandheating.com.
All right. Anything else you want to mention before we go?
I'm good for now, buddy.
All right. Brent Watson, thank you so much for coming in. Vision Plumbing and Heating. We'll talk again soon. In the meantime, check your furnaces and your hoses.
That's right.
All right. And thanks for watching Kelowna Now.